Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Hope. On my channel I make a bunch of vlogs, lifestyle, beauty, fashion related videos. So definitely hit that subscribe button down below to stick around. Today we are at the end of 2020 and it has been a crazy year, one like no other. This is the first year that I've lived through that has had something as significant as a pandemic happen. Not only did we have to think about our own safety, but we also had to think about our safety as a nation this year. This year was irregular in so many ways, from having to socially distance yourself from other human beings and something to wearing a mask, which is something that we did not think we would have to do and now is our new normal. We also witnessed our own kind do reckless and inhumane things, and were educated about a lot of social injustices and problems that are still happening. Now you could say that it was a really hard year. Now I know 2020 was probably one of the worst years, but for me it was the best year for my mental health. Because of everything going on, I really looked inwards. Having the time away and time by myself, being secluded, really helped me begin my journey of self-discovery, self-love, my journey to a better mental health state, a journey to happiness. So before the year ends, I thought I would share with you guys 20 things that I learned in 2020. Now, probably the biggest thing I learned in 2020 is that my mindset is everything. We don't realize it, but our mindsets literally make up all of our thoughts, and our thoughts make up our actions, and our actions make up our lives. I used to be a very negative person, and I would overthink, and I would worry, and I would think about every single possible outcome, and in turn, I would just stay stuck feeling like that. So in 2020, when a lot of things didn't go as planned, I was forced to look inwards and look at my thoughts and realize, wow, I really need to change my thoughts around and how I feel in order to not be stuck here. Like, you can shift your perspective to a more positive, open mindset, and it just allows you to see things from a whole different light. Having a better mindset can literally affect every single situation and decision you make in your life. I really believe that being mindful of my mindset and changing it to a better one has definitely led me to be a lot more of a happy person. I look back at myself 5 years ago and I'm just wondering how the heck I survived through anything feeling the way I did and thinking the way that I did. The second thing I learned in 2020 is to find your tribe. And what I mean by this is, yes, the people you surround yourself with. Let go of anything or anyone who doesn't align with your core values, doesn't serve you, is restricting you from something or making you feel a certain way that you don't want to feel. Let go of that. Pursue what you want, do what you want, be your authentic true self, and you will find your tribe. Trust me when I say that there are people out there that are exactly like you and are good for you. Not only that, but the people that make you feel good, the people that make you feel happy, that cheer you on constantly, keep those people around. Those people are your tribe, and they play a huge part in your self-motivation and who you are as a person. The third thing I learned in 2020 is to make time for things that induce happiness. It can be a big thing or it can be a small thing, but you need to make sure that you are making time for things that make you feel happy. Whether it's drinking your morning coffee outside in the sunshine, or letting yourself have a nap every afternoon, watching your favorite show while cooking dinner, or jamming out in the car. I really learned that by doing these little things in my day that induce happiness, I can in turn mash them all together, and then my days are a lot better and a lot happier in the long run. We do so much in our day-to-day lives, and since it's so easy for our thoughts to change the way we feel, it's so important that we do things that induce happiness and give us that good positive energy, because that's something that we all need. The next thing that I learned in 2020 is to be adaptable to change. As we all know, 2020 definitely did not go as planned for a lot of people out there, including myself, and it can be really hard for us to change course, change our plans, but sometimes we don't have a choice. I learned this year with shifting my mindset that you have to be adaptable to the opportunities that come your way, and you have to be adaptable to change. Whether it's good change or bad change, we can't stay in the same moment forever, and we have to be moving forward. Whatever happens, accept it, look at it with an open point of view, and be adaptable to the change that comes next with that. Along with being adaptable to change, another thing I learned that has been my biggest struggle so far in my life is patience. I am a complete go-getter. I'm always going to the next thing. I'm always moving forward. I'm always in a rush. I'm literally, when I'm cleaning my house, I'm like running around. Like, I've been this way since I was younger, and I can never wait for the things that I wanted in life. The thing about 2020 was that it was so unpredictable that I kind of had to be patient, and this was something that was really hard for me. But again, with changing my mindset, I was able to learn patience and how to be patient in every aspect of my life. I graduated this year and I was waiting forever to hear what was going to happen with that. We were receiving news about COVID-19 every single day, so we had to be patient about that. I had to be patient with myself. It was just a really good year to test my patience just because so many things were on hold. But I think it really allowed me to kind of not fixate on one thing all the time and kind of see the bigger picture. Another big thing that I learned in 2020 is to practice gratitude. Now, I know this sounds cliche, but it really does change your life. You guys already know I am super into the law of attraction and journaling and all of that stuff. And I really found that by finding 3 things I'm grateful for, even during unprecedented times like in 2020, there are always things to be grateful for, and it is very, very important that we make sure that we are aware of them. The more you practice gratitude, the more you find you have to be grateful for, and the more you will get more things in return. Now, I try to practice gratitude every single morning and every single night. It only takes 5 minutes, and it really, really helps my day. Something else I learned this year that kind of goes in hand with the law of attraction and manifesting is that you don't have to overwork yourself to get there. The universe is supporting you. Stay positive, stay driven. I think this is mostly if you do the law of attraction, but I've manifested a lot of money this year, and the universe has definitely taken care of me, even though I have not been working my regular 9-to-5 job. So it has been a real eye-opener for me that I can earn an income and I can get other things in my life without actually going and getting them or actually putting in the effort. Since we were all separated from a lot of loved ones this year and a lot of people, family, friends, I learned that it is very, very important to stay in touch with your family, stay connected. I moved away from home in September, so that was a real test for me as far as being away from the people I cared about. Something that really triggered this for me was I was thinking about my grandma and how I barely saw her as it is when I lived in the same city as her. And now that I was moved away, she was all alone, all lonely at home. So I decided to call her. Now I call her almost every other week just because I realize it is so important to stay connected with the people that you love and talk to them and keep them around. Like I said, find your tribe and make them stick around. Another thing I learned in 2020 is that there are major injustices still happening in our society, such as the Black Lives Matter movement, pro-life movement, LGBTQ rights, feminist rights, and so much more. I'm sure a lot of people also felt that stuff was kind of getting better, and this year I just became aware that there were a lot more problems that I knew of before. I was able to educate myself on a lot of these things. I learned that in order to make a change for these things, we really have to stand up together and work together to make real change. And I also learned how important it is to keep yourself educated and to stand up for what you believe in, no matter what other people think, because unfortunately, it really does take more than one person to make a change. All right, my fridge just decided to turn on and make a weird noise, so I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. But moving on to the next thing that I learned in 2020, which is to trust in the universe. Like I said, I used to be a huge overthinker. Like, I would always worry about every single possible outcome, and I was not patient, so it did not help. I was always worrying, and if something didn't go as planned, I would just basically break down. I couldn't handle it. So along with changing my mindset, practicing gratitude, being patient, all of these things, I learned that because life is so unpredictable right now and I'm focusing inward, focusing on myself, I need to trust the universe. I need to trust the outcomes. I need to pick what I need to be focused on, be goal orientated, be working towards these things, and trust that the universe is going to make it happen for me. Trust that the universe has a plan. And if something doesn't happen like you wanted it to, or you didn't get that job that you wanted to, just trust the universe and know that there's something better coming along, or there's a reason why that didn't happen. I've honestly gained a lot of mental freedom by trusting in the universe, just because I've freed myself from all the restricting thoughts and all the thoughts that were challenging me in the first place. In 2020, I chose my way of life, kind of my spirituality, whatever I wanted to believe in and to guide me, which is trusting in the universe, doing tarot, all of that stuff. So one thing that I learned is to make time for your spirituality, your religion, whatever it might be. I think that we all need something to believe in, something to turn to that makes us feel nurtured and comforted, something that allows us to feel better, something that allows us to get our emotions out. For me, that was practicing my spirituality rituals, whether it was meditating, writing in my journal, doing some incense, doing a tarot deck reading. I just learned that it really does change your day when you allow yourself time for things like this, because they are so good for you. And because it is a way of life, it is so important to be consistent with that and practice it as often as you can. All right, my feet are getting tired, so I'm gonna sit on the couch for a sec. Something else that I learned in 2020 is that the things that challenge me get easier over time. This is quite an obvious one. We had more time in 2020 to work on these challenges, and they became way easier over time. As you guys know, I started this YouTube channel this year, which was very challenging in the beginning, and I can definitely say that it has become easier over time. This was also my first year of university, and it was online because of COVID, and that was also very challenging for me, and it has become easier over time. The next thing I learned is that it is never too late to try new things, and we should always be trying new things. For example, I never ever took art in high school because I thought I sucked at it, and I just had no interest. Now I'm an art student in university, and I didn't realize that you could actually learn how to do something new like drawing or painting, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it, and it's a really creative outlet for me, just like YouTube is. So I don't know why I ever limited myself from that before. So that's definitely something that I've learned, is that it's never too late to try new things, and we should always be trying new things. It can totally change who we are as a person and better our lives. One of the big things I learned in 2020 is to take the leap. Now, I'm saying this mostly in regards to my YouTube channel. This is something that I wanted to do since I was 11 years old. And once I moved to a new city, I totally had the confidence to do it. I took the leap, not caring what people were gonna think, and it totally worked out for me. I found my tribe. I found so many people who supported me, who continuously support me, and I appreciate you guys also so much. But I think that I learned that you have to ask yourself what is holding you back, like what limiting beliefs do you think are holding you back, and realize that they're not really holding you back. Take the leap. You know how many people started YouTube channels in 2020? Ask them if they regret it. You know how many people started businesses in 2020, changed their style in 2020, got out of their comfort zone in 2020, and it's totally worth it. Take the leap, trust the universe, and find your tribe. Another thing that I learned in 2020 is to be mindful of my time. Now, this might sound strange because all we had was time in 2020, but I'm a pretty productive person, and I know that I can get stuck scrolling on my phone for hours, like on Instagram or YouTube or whatever it is. And 2020 allowed me to have so many more things to do that I was like, I want to be able to do as much of these things and all these things that induce happiness as much as possible. So I definitely learned a lot of time management and how to be mindful with my time, be productive. Like I said, I also moved out this year, so I've been learning to adult. So I have to be mindful of my time, making dinner, doing schoolwork, doing my job, doing YouTube, and making time for the other things like physical exercise, spirituality, mindfulness, relationships, humor, fun, all these things. So I really learned to be mindful of my time and just kind of analyze, like, if I want to get all these things done, then I'm gonna have to do a little bit of scheduling here. Another thing that I really focused on this year is self-care, and I really learned that self-care is indeed so selfless. I don't know why self-care would ever be viewed as selfish, but it's actually one of the most important, empowering things that you can do for yourself. We have to nurture ourselves and make sure that all of our love languages, our mental health, physical health, all of that is intact. And we were so secluded that what else are you gonna do but take 5 minutes for yourself to take a bath or do a meditation or do a face mask, whatever it is, because even though we are all in this together, we are also all individuals, and we should be the most important person that we put all of our effort into because we have ourselves for life. Another thing that I learned this year is to always remind myself. What I mean by this is to keep yourself directed on your goals, whether it be with a vision board or my personal favorite, which is affirmations. If you practice the law of attraction, you know what affirmations are. If you don't, they are just little phrases that motivate you. Something that I started doing in 2020 is writing down affirmations for myself on little sticky notes, placing them around my house, and just having them as reminders. I have one in my bathroom that says, "Make today count," and it's a daily reminder for myself. Every morning when I go into my bathroom, I see that, I'm like, yes, make today count. You can put whatever you want, but I think it's so important to constantly be reminding yourself of what you believe in, what you stand for, your goals, and much more. Now, this next one I know is a little bit hard in 2020, but it is to do more things that make you feel alive. Now, I know that we can go out and do things like go to a concert that makes us feel alive, but there are a lot more things that you can do that make you feel alive, such as literally something so small as literally putting your phone down and living in the moment, going for a walk, trying something new, whatever it might be. Do things that make you feel alive. Do things that make you feel energized. Do things where you aren't going to be distracted and you can live in the moment. Now, another thing I learned this year, as I said, this was a very big self-growth year for me, was to be authentic to yourself. I think we all realize at a point that we can be who we want to be and we don't have to be like everybody else. In fact, why would you want to be like anybody else? And because I practice law of attraction, I'm always thinking about my highest self and what I want my life to look like. And I'm realizing if I want those things, then I have to start acting like that person now. I think we really saw everybody's true colors this year, and everybody kind of broke out of their shell, and it was really amazing to see. Whether it's finding your style, changing your hair, joining that club you wanted, taking that job you wanted, starting a YouTube channel, starting a business. Especially with starting a YouTube channel, I think I really had to think about who I wanted to be, what kind of person I wanted to be, what kind of things that I wanted to do. And because I'm on a social platform now, I have to think about being authentic to myself and not just being like everybody else, and being real and genuine. And the very last and most important thing that I learned in 2020 is that we are all in this together. Even though we are all individuals, we are all on the same planet, we are all going through the same things and our own things. We are all humans and all experience the COVID-19 pandemic, and just being mindful of that and mindful of the people around you, I think is really important. I think I really learned that sometimes we just have to take a step back and look at the bigger picture, look at everybody who's involved, which during the pandemic was everyone, and we really need to stick together in times like this. All right, so that was the 20 things that I learned in this crazy year of 2020. I also just want to say that in no way am I trying to ignore some of the very important things that happened this year. I just wanted to share 20 things that I personally learned in my self-growth journey. I feel like I've learned so much this year and grown up so much that I just wanted to share 20 of the things that have really been significant for me. I would love to hear what you guys think down below, and I would also love to hear some of the biggest things that you guys learned this year. So definitely make sure to drop those in the comment section down below. I wish you guys all inner peace and enlightenment in 2021. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I love you all so very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!